Yo, what's up, man? This your boy D with On the Porch, man. And today, man, I got a real I have someone sitting here today, man. This dude here, he uptown too. He embedded in this thing uptown. And some of y'all may look at me and say, D, what the hell? Some of y'all be like, oh man, that's my dude. But today, man, we got my boy Troy Hankton sitting on the porch, and guess what? He about to really get it. We about to really dive into some things that he grew up with. A lot of us know him from playing. A lot of us know him. He went to LSU, full scholarship, played under the Nick Saban era. A lot of us know him for just being a good dude, and then a lot of us also know him, not personally him, but the family for what it is uptown. You know what I'm saying? And what we saw in the New Orleans area. But today, my dude's sitting here today, and he trying to show y'all, look, just because of where it started, that don't mean that's me. You know what I'm saying? And now I done turned this thing around, and I'm just trying to keep other people from getting into that situation, and I'm trying to help other people to understand, look, just because of your background, just because of what you went through, it don't have to go that way. You don't have to finish your life that way.
Fact.
So today, y'all, we got my boy Troy sitting on the porch, and we about to really get down today. And yo, let's just start, man. So let's just go for it, bro. You know what I'm saying? First off, let's just go for it. So pretty much, you went from going to LSU for a ride, playing football. Where did it? We all know where it started from. We all know. If you from uptown, we all know when you hear Hankton. You hear, no matter who name affiliated with it, when you hear the last name, it's like, wow, wait, hold up, I need to rethink what I'm about to do. I need to rethink what I'm about to say. I'm about to, pretty much. You know what? Tell old boy he can leave. I don't even want him around here right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So how were you able to go through your early life to make it to LSU with knowing the circumstances behind you going on?
Well, growing up, again, I started on Jackson Street, Josephine, Jackson, 1910 Jackson Street, Jackson and Drive, 1920 Josephine Street. So it was Josephine in my younger elementary days. So when I basically got to middle school, I always lived in the Magnolia Project. I always lived back here. So when I got to middle school, my mom finally allowed me to just be on my own. So I was able to be in the project full time. So I really didn't hang on Jackson as much, still had friends. So growing up for me, and what was easy, it was always, I played sports. I played football, basketball, and baseball. So me doing that, I was able to travel a lot. I was able to go places. I went everywhere. I played sports everywhere. So it was always, people knew me from sports. They knew Troy. So it was never like affiliated as much as Hankton. I was Troy. I was Nikhil's little brother. I was Troy. So it wasn't really like, I didn't look at it that way, because it was basically, I was young growing up and I played sports. From there, I went to Cohen High School, earned a full ride at LSU. Under Nick Saban, 2002. So a lot of people really don't know what happened in college. But in college, I was diagnosed epilepsy. I started catching seizures. So they didn't want me to play football. They wanted me to medical red shirt. And one of the coaches came to me and was like, man, listen, if you medical red shirt, they're not ever going to clear you again to play. So if you want to play football, just transfer. I transferred. I went to Southern. Got to Southern, it was like, man, it was going from the suburbs to the projects. Literally, it was totally different. Man, I was lost. Because I was so used to the structure at LSU, to when I got to Southern, I was like, I literally gave up, because I'm looking at it like, man, you don't even have to come to practice and you still playing that Southern. So it was man, it was so confusing to me. I'm like, man, I really just, I gave it up. And plus, they couldn't deal with the medical condition. LSU, they made sure they took care of me with the medicine, and I was going to Southern still getting that medicine from LSU.
Oh,
I was still getting treated from LSU medical, and I was going to Southern.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, man, I can't do this. So basically, 2004, that was it for me. Like, one of my best friends, we came down, was it 04, 05? I came down, and he went back up to Mac Terrence, like one of my best friends who just spoke on him.
Yeah.
He called a charge
Right.
in Baton Rouge.
Right.
I wasn't with him that night. If I was with him, that never happened. I know for a fact it never happened.
Right.
But I wasn't with him that night. I came down, one of my friends got killed, Montreal Johnson. That's Keated Black, baby daddy. His son played at Florida.
Yeah.
So he was killed that night. So when he was killed, Mac went back to Baton Rouge to grab some clothes because we was going to stay for the week. And he called a charge. So basically, there was all type of threats because they knew me and him hang together every day. So I didn't go back. So then Katrina happened and all of that. So all this happened around the same time. Like, this was right before Katrina, then Katrina, like, all of this happened. So, it was always like, my last name was always like a part of me, but it was always like, he played sports. So it was always like, when people would tell me my last name, I didn't know the ramifications because I really wasn't in the streets. I was a part of the streets, but I wasn't in the streets, so I didn't really know. You know what I'm saying? So, getting older, like after Katrina and everything, like, I went to learning a lot about the history of the last name. I went to learning because as I got older, I started to, you conversating with people and people telling you about your family. Like, I'm meeting females and they telling me about my uncles and my cousins. And I'm, like, I didn't know this. Like, I know he in jail, but I didn't know what he was in jail for.
I didn't know that.
Nah, I didn't. Like,
Right. I was doing something different.
Yeah, I was doing something different. So when sports was over, I was lost. I was lost for a minute. I was lost. So, Katrina happened. I come home and man. So, after 2006, I won $82,000 in a casino in Harris. So my life changed. So after winning the money, it's like my appearance changed. So, once your appearance changed, people automatically like, you're a Hankton and you got money now. So the first thing people thought was he's selling drugs. And I'm not going to lie, like my ego changed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got like more cocky, like, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm embracing T. Hank. I'm embracing Hank. I'm embracing the last name now. So now it's like I'm almost like feeling like I have to live up to that. And it's never who I was. You know what I'm saying? So, like it's not who I am, but I in my mind, it's a mental thing because now I'm caught up in this. I feel like I got to live up to this.
I got to do it now.
Yeah.
I got to really be it now.
Yeah, I got to be this because I'm not playing football no more. So what are you doing? Again, I'm lost. I didn't have a plan after football. I didn't think that far. Football was my everything. Like, man, I'm gonna make it in football. I never doubted that. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to go to school. I could have finished school, but I didn't want to go to school.
Right.
I'm like, man, I'm playing football. So once that was over, like, and the money came and all that, so now I'm embracing that. So, when everything happened with the family, like, so, again, now, here come the negative side because your name caught up in it. Hankton.
Right, you embracing
it now. So now, no matter what happens, it's like anything that happened, you're a part of it now because you embracing the last name, you standing on it, you moving with it. So now it's like, that happened. So, again, I was never who the courts painted me out to be. I was never who the news talked about. I was never that person. But is when you caught up into a family situation, they can't pinpoint, oh, well, he's a good guy, he's not. So basically, they look at everybody as one. Like, you caught up in this, guess what? This is what you are. You on a RICO charge. So you got, like, they came at me and told me, you got one way out. They said, like, just tell us what happened. I said, man, I can tell you what happened with me all day long because I ain't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. I was on a shooting charge. I didn't do nothing. Like, it was more of a self-defense. Like, you read the whole paperwork. But I left the scene. I used my own gun. I went to prison for using my own gun. So
man, so just So in other words, you really didn't have a fighting chance.
Oh, no, indeed.
You really didn't have a fighting chance. No matter how it turned, you really did. The chances of you actually beating this was slim.
When you hit the federal system, like you talking about a 95%, 98% conviction rate. Now they don't count an overturned conviction as a loss. That's still a win because technically you was convicted. So no matter how long it takes for you to come back and appeal and win, it's a conviction. You talking about a 98% conviction rate. You talking about a court system who digs up anything and everything possible. But every time they dug up something on me, it helped me. It was never nothing to hurt me. When they was digging up stuff, they was digging up jobs I forgot I even had. Like literally, like they was digging up jobs I forgot I had. Like so, it was never nothing but one shooting charge.
Right. So, all right. So for the if you willing to speak on it for people that don't remember, what was it? How because okay, you already served your time for it,
Yeah.
so it's nothing they could.
Mm-hmm.
So where did it take place? What was going through your mind at the time when it happened, and what did you feel after it happened?
You know, it was basically like me defending myself.
Okay.
Like it was never like I never thought anything but that. Like I always feel like I'm gonna defend me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's all it ever was. It was never nothing extra, nothing. You know, it happened on Ford and Clara by Red Rooster. You know,
Right.
It was me defending myself.
Right.
But I was never able to tell my story because when they try to talk to me, I say, listen, like y'all taking somebody's word, y'all saying that this person, y'all believe this person, but this person's background is worse than mine, but y'all gonna believe him over me. So they never allowed me to talk because they said if I tell my story, they wanted me to tell on somebody. I said, what I can tell, what I don't know.
Right. Right.
So it doesn't work like that. They told me that out their mouth. They said, well, if 10 people come tell us like the store around the corner, one says purple, one says blue, one says green, and they said no matter what color the store is, we know something going on at the store. I'm like, but why should I know? They said, oh, because your last name Hankton, everybody. I said, but I play sports. I wasn't connected. I wasn't.
Right.
But when you go back and look at when I became a part of the situation, it was 2006. I won $82,000 in 2006. So the image that they have is me embracing Hankton. So they can't say who I was before then. They say at this point, this is what you was doing. Because that's what it looked like. So, you know, like I always tell people, it's like perception is reality. If you look like you're doing something, it doesn't matter if you're doing it or not. It's perception. When you get caught up in the system, that perception becomes reality. I can dap you off and give you a piece of bubble gum or peppermint because your breath stinks and say, huh, right? If the police watching and they think I'm a drug dealer, what you think they gonna think I gave you? Now I can dap you off because I don't want them to see what I'm giving you. But if the police watching me, they gonna think I just served you some drugs. And that's perception. And you can come tell them, no, man, he gave me this. It doesn't matter what you say or what I say. It's basically what they build their case on.
Right. Damn. So, if you don't, so after the incident happened, right? Like you said, now it's up to you. If you don't, how did it start? Was it more of
I can't speak. I don't know. Like those the type of things that people would think that I might be lying about. I don't know. Because you have to remember, I was hanging in the Magnolia, not Josephine.
Right.
Everybody I'm on a charge with is everybody who went to prison is off Josephine. I'm out the Magnolia. All my friends, everybody I hang with is out the Magnolia. Right. So technically, like I say I'm out the LD, I'm out the Magnolia. I never say I'm off Josephine. So everybody was on the case was family. You know,
it just
that's it. So it's
Wow.
that's it. Like none of my friends ain't in prison with me. All my friends were still out on the street while I was in prison. They just put me on the charge with my family. Like it's the system.
Wow.
They feel somebody gonna tell something. That's that's what they say. Somebody gonna tell something. You get enough people, somebody gonna tell something. That's what they believe.
So damn. So what was that like sitting in the courtroom and to hear your sentence, to hear that look, I'm not going nowhere for a little while.
Well, technically, I didn't feel like that because it was like looking at everything in front of me. I was facing 6 to 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
I had already been down 5 years. I went to prison 2011. I didn't get sentenced to 2016. So I felt like, well, I went up in there like, I ain't worried about this. Like, this about to be a little short sentence. I get 8 years, 6 years or something. I'll be home soon. That's how everybody in the courtroom felt. That's how I felt. That's how my lawyer felt. That's how everybody around me felt. Like, oh yeah, you about to get something short. Whew. The judge said 168 months. I had to calculate, like, wait, damn, I know 144 is 12 years. I'm like, wait, what? 14 years. So technically, everybody in the courthouse with me that day, I got the max sentence. 14 years.
Ooh.
Everybody with me.
Ooh.
Never been in trouble a day in my life. Never been convicted of a crime. Never been juvenile. 168 months. 14 years.
Awful. Wow.
So,
for something you wasn't even. Wow. Damn. So that's what I'm saying. So when that happened, how did you see that? What was going through your head? Like,
see, you got to understand that at that moment, I shed a tear. Because I look back, I had my daughter in the courthouse. You know what I'm saying? Like my mama screamed. My daughter made sounds. I had to look back at my child, knowing that for the next so many years that I'm not gonna be in my kid's life. You know what I'm saying? And it's like those moments right there is like that make you think like, damn, like, is it worth it? Because I felt like, damn, I didn't need much. Like, I didn't, but at the end of the day, it's like those people don't care. Like, the system is not designed. Like, it's like if you ain't willing to help them, you're just gonna suffer whatever consequences that come with it.
Right. So man, all right, you get convicted. You hear that you're in the courtroom. Man, damn, that had to be hard. Your mom in there crying.
Yeah. So
your daughter's looking at you and they like.
So boom. So I get convicted. So like your support system. You know what I'm saying? Like people stood up. Like I look back and they looked at me crying and said, "Wipe your eyes." So it was a moment like, damn, make me go back to that moment. But it was a moment like, you know what I'm saying? And I had to look back and see like who was there for me. Right. Your support system, and they like, man, wipe your eyes. I got you. We good. Mm-hmm. So, and from that moment, like, we all get sensitive. We get back on the bus. Some people, they more excited because, and I don't mean excited like really happy. It's like, they could have got more time and they didn't. So, again, like we all was wishing for less possible. So, I'm happy for everybody, but everybody worrying about me like, man, you good? I'm the youngest person on the case. The next, listen, I'm 27 at the time. The next closest person to me is my brother. He's 33. He's 6 years older than me. I'm the youngest person on the case. so you know what I'm saying?
They looking at you like, man, bro.
So they like, man, you good? Never been in trouble. Never been in prison. So they weren't about me. So but one thing I know for a fact is that I was around dudes in prison who was facing life sentence, the death penalty. So when I got 14 years, I know one thing. I already got 5 years down.
You got to do 10 more, 9 more, 9 at the most.
Really, with the good time and everything, yeah, I was like, man, I really got to do about 4 5 years.
Right.
So at the end of the day, like, I can't ever feel bad when I get back to prison when I get back where I'm going, because these dudes trying to get 20 and 30 years. I'm around dudes who praying to get 30 years. So from the bus ride, from court to the bus ride, the bus ride back to the prison, it was over with. Now I make one phone call, like, man, what's up? Like, you good. That's all I heard, you good. My support system, like, you good.
So, man, when you look back, bro, who were some of the people that supported you through your whole ordeal, through everything you went through, who was right there from day one and still right here today?
Shemaine Christmas, like, it's my baby mama now, like, she was there for me the whole jokes, like, from start talking 14 and all the way to today. Like, she rode the whole jokes with me. Like, we might have had some fallouts, but she was there. You know what I'm saying? I had my partners, but you gotta understand that I couldn't. Who I am, I'm in prison. I don't lean on people. If I need you, bro, I make the phone call.
No, I ain't even talking about. No, I ain't
Okay.
even talking about people you just called and was like, man, I need this. I'm talking about people who was just like, was there giving you like words of encouragement, like, dude, you got this. Look.
Well, I didn't really reach out to the streets for that. It's like I told you, when I all right, got my time or whatever, they sent me to Atlanta USP. I met Clifford Baptiste Mutt. He was on the 7-1 soldiers case, had a life sentence. So when I hit there, my first day, like, man, come on, let's hit the track. The track is like the yard. They got a big old track. We're like, let's hit the track. So we walk around the track, we talking. So, me and him talking, you know what I'm saying? And like, he giving me the game and I'm telling him what's going on the streets. And it's like, for me to see him talking, he had a life sentence, right? He would talk like he was going home tomorrow. So I used to be like, so when I get back to the dome, I used to be like, man, what's wrong with this dude? Like, man, it's nowhere in the world. Like, man, you going home tomorrow with a life sentence? So for me, I got 5 years left. So I'm sitting here like, at this time it's 2016, no, 17. It's 17. My out day is 2023. So I'm like, man, ain't no way in the world. So I got 5 years. So, it's one thing he taught me. Then I met a few other guys in Atlanta who had life sentences. Matter of fact, all of them home at this moment. And, they was telling me, like, man, you got 5 years, man, stay out the way. Like, these dudes got life, 70 years, 2-3 life sentences. Like, these dudes ain't got nothing. They don't care. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, the first thing was, like, respect. Like, it was like, that's what you stand on. Everything is about respect. Like, you respect everybody. And you respect everything. Right? You respect everybody, you respect everything. And that was just like something that stuck with me to this day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of times when you come home, you see so much disrespect that's going on out here. You like you don't get it, but up in there, like, man, you can get killed from skipping a lunch line. That's how serious it is. Like, you skip a lunch line, somebody feel offended. Like, you will, like, it will start a riot if you skip a lunch line.
Wow. So, man, so in that, so when you in there, it's nothing that the government or the system is helping you to get yourself back together. They actually, you in there, and they actually bringing you, and they actually sending you back out there like animals. If you don't have your head on straight.
Everybody in prison. The guy I just spoke about, Clifford Baptiste Mutt, aka Mutt, like 7-1. Him, like, guys like that, like, you have to want it. You have to it starts with you. So nothing the government does is rehabilitation in the system. It's no rehabilitation. The system is a basically failed system. They throw you up in there and just say, like it's like a caged animal. You thrown up in there and just have to fend for yourself. Like, the things that they put you in jail for on the streets, they embrace in prison. They don't want you to be a gang on the streets. In the prison, you have to be a gang. You will be affiliated with something. If you go to a USP or medium, high, anything like that, you're going to affiliate yourself with something. You have black gangs, you have Nathaniels, you have Pisces, they all run together. You have white supremacists, you have dirty white boys, you have Louisiana, Texas, Florida. Everything is segregated. Louisiana had their own tables. The Muslims had their own tables. The Christians had their own table. White boys had their own table. Everybody has their own table. You not going to sit at one of those tables.
Yeah.
So you gonna be affiliated when you go to childless lunch. When you go eat in the cafeteria, they have tables assigned. If you basically by yourself, you got to go sit at the Christian table. That might be the only table that's available.
Wow.
You got to like I'm like, so the same thing they tell you they don't want on the streets. They don't want you to be a gang on the street, right? But in prison, that's in a federal system. That's what it's built on: segregation. Like you have Mexican gangs that can't be around each other. So this whole yard prison is filled with a certain gang. Somebody that they considered as enemies can't step on that yard at all.
So man, it's so really and truly, man. It's almost like so they just throw y'all in there and just like so. It's really nothing in there that's making you that's gonna have you unless you got it in your head that you're gonna change. There's nothing in there that's gonna make you change.
No. Like you gotta understand, like the prison system today is like far as the federal system. Like what you don't have. Tell me. Like the system I was in, you know, in Atlanta, well, it's shut down now. It's shut down. Supposedly they say they found the gun. So just imagine that you're in a prison where any drug you can think about coming through. So cell phones. So tell me, like, it's designed to run itself. Like they know what's going on, but the system is not created to rehabilitate you. It's basically like you thrown up in there and it's like you gotta fend for yourself.
So man, so when you came out, you came out this year.
No. Matter of fact, a law passed. I earned good time. The CARES Act. Donald Trump was president. He passed the CARES Act. So matter of fact, I tell the story. So with Dominique. So during the pandemic. So the pandemic happened. 2021.
2020. Yeah,
2020. I was in a special housing, what's called a SHU. I was in the SHU for a cell phone. I got called with a cell phone, so I was in the SHU. So the whole. So my daughter was trying to get in contact with me. So basically, she couldn't get in contact with me. So somehow they contacted Dominique, Daughters Beyond Incarceration, and asked them, did they have anybody in Oakdale, because 9 people had died during COVID in the prison. So my daughters were like, oh, they ain't talking to me, this, that, and that. So Fox News contacted them. And, you know, it was like, man, I can't talk to my dad or this, that, that. They made a complaint. It was on the news. So, like, one of the officers comes and say, man, you got a daughter? I said, yeah, I got 3 daughters. What's their name? I'm like, Takia, No, Trinaya, Jarian. Yeah, them. They said they just was on the news. And, you know, they pitched saying, like, they couldn't talk to us because of, you know, people wasn't working. No, you know, so things like that. So, for whatever reason, I don't know what happened. They were saying that somebody pitched that to Donald Trump, and he, inside of the CARES Act, he made it to whereas at that moment, the phone calls was free in prison. So during all the way up until maybe I think just recently, under the CARES Act, the phone calls was free. So, you know, and it was a lot that Daughters Beyond Incarceration was doing for my kids while I was incarcerated. So, like, that happened then. So with the CARES Act, they also passed a few more laws so you can earn good time for good behavior and certain programs that you take. So mind you, I was a GED teacher. And when I was in Oakdale, Louisiana, I was one of the head GED teachers. And if anybody want to go look it up, basically, you know, not bragging or anything, I just help people. That's it all. But we was number 4 in the whole BOP. Oakdale, Louisiana was number 4 in the whole BOP when I was like one of the head tutors over there. So, like, you know, and so I basically like put in the work. So I was just doing things when it wasn't beneficiary. So at the time, like you don't get nothing for taking programs. That's why I say it's no rehabilitation. It's nothing you earn. But you know, I just was taking programs. I was learning. Because I was already putting my head like, what are you going to do when you get out of here? So my mindset was, okay, I'll take advantage of whatever they have to offer. So mind you, me taking it, you know, I'm learning I'm taking what I can get from it. But again, when I say it's no rehabilitation, it's like, it's not mandatory. So who doing it. People doing it is the people who want to make better for themselves. So you have to want it again. So I'm doing it. So in 2021, the law passed. January.
What's up? What's up, girl? My bad.
All right, no problem.
What's up?
The law passed. So when the law passed, just so happened, again, I told you I was in the shoot. So they ran to my cell and said, hey, man, fill out this paperwork. I said, what's going on? They said, man, you about to be going home. I'm like, what? I said, what happened? They said, well, the law kicked in. But by the law, I had to wait a few days because you had to be clear of a shot a year. So once the shot cleared for a year, once it cleared, so going into, I think I come home 22. What is it, 23? I'm about to be home 2 years, yeah. So, and once everything cleared up for me, and my date changed from 23 to 22. So then from 22, I was in 24. I'm sorry, I was in January 24. And went from 24 to 23, and from 23, they gave me 18. I got a year off, which put it in 22, and I got 7 months halfway out, which put it in April of 22. Yeah. 24 me 2 years. Yeah. So I got out early. So, and me getting out early during that process, Dominique again, DBI, and was working with my daughter because my daughter had a question about, will my dad be able to see me graduate? So during that process, they wrote up a bill. The bill went to the Senate, and thank God I was home. So I actually went spoke on the bill. So I went spoke, and the bill was passed like unanimously. Nobody argued against it. So basically, it's whereas kids who graduate in high school, their parents can actually in prison can actually get a chance to see them graduate. They let them do it virtually, but they get the opportunity to see them graduate and walk across the stage. So that was a plus, and those are the type of things those are
the type of wins that you take, man.
Yeah, 100%. Because when I saw those moments, like my kids working and thinking about me, it's like, in 2014 or 15, I stopped cursing and I stopped using the N-word. So, I don't curse or use the N-word. Like, a lot of people that know me be like, how you did it? But, I was thinking about my kids and what do I want better for them? So I started working on me. So in the process of me working on me, going through the system, it was all about basically, it wasn't about like getting in prison and trying to prove who you are. It wasn't about none of that for me. It was just about like, man, like I want better.
Right. So coming out of prison, you still have what you done to get in prison over your head. You still have the fact that, hey, because let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. Because of who you are, because of who you are, Troy Hankton. Guess what? It's a lot of people that's not gonna believe anything you're saying. They're not gonna believe the 83,000. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna believe you went to the casino in one day. They're not gonna believe. Oh, you shot this dude in self-defense. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna believe you wasn't part of the cartel, part of the RICO. It's just, I'm talking about from police officers to detectives to even people in the streets, even people in the neighborhood.
100%.
They just not gonna believe it. You know what I'm saying? Because of who you are.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? How are you able to separate that, to show people? Nah, I was just in a bad situation when that shooting happened. I was just I'm not that person you think I am, just because of where I come from.
Well, what I've learned is you can't please everybody. I'll never be able to basically change everybody's opinion on me. So what I do is I go do what I have to do. I work, take care of my kids. I show the world who I am. I stand on respect. So it's not about me proving to those naysayers the truth or the lie, because it's the past. So I can't ever change that. You know, if you want to know, like, do your research on it. Like, you know, go do your research and see who I am. And just maybe a few months ago, my PO came some and she said, like, you know, I guess my name came up. Like, you don't know who that is. And, you know, she did some research and she came back and said, well, they was trying to say, like, you're a bad person, but I don't get that from you. You know, like, because at the end of the day, it's like, it's easy to judge somebody about what you hear or what someone else says. But when you get to know that person for yourself, that's when all things change. Like, it's easy to judge a person by, oh man, he this or he that. But when you sit down with that person and talk to them and you get to know that person or you be around that person, like, well, wait, hold up. I don't get that. Like, they saying that I don't get that from that person. So, you know, it's never for me to try to prove a naysayer wrong. You know, that's just, I try to tell my kids, I tell everybody, like, if I constantly worry about the naysayers, that means basically I'm going to try to have to prove myself every day to people who don't believe in me. So what I do is I embrace the people who do believe in me. And that's my goal. Like, my goal, the people who believe in me, the people who want to work with me, the people who want to know my story. Like, I got all the documents, whatever you need, the people who really want to know. That's who I'm willing to work with. I'm willing to work with the people who believe in the change, who believe in me going through what I went through and willing to come out here and be a leader to some of these young kids who need the guidance. So, you know, again, you know, it's never, I don't do this a lot, but when you look at the Bible, Jesus didn't come to save the righteous. He came to save the unrighteous. Like, he didn't, like, even when the righteous people tried to make him prove points, he said what he said and did what he was supposed to do. Right. So it's never gonna be me trying to, like, prove to a naysayer. You either gonna walk with me and believe, or you just gonna keep doubting. But eventually, as the movement come in, I get where the movement start, then you'll be like, well, maybe he is, or maybe, right. You know, but I live my life every day, and it's like, you know, people wonder why, or they ask me how I'm able to just be me.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you know, when you know who you are, and people respect you for being who you are, like, people know me. Everybody know that. They know me. Like, I'm known, I can go anywhere. But it started off from sports. You know?
So what's your plan going forward? How would you, or let's go another way. How can you help? How would you be able to help someone, a kid, or someone who's going through what you have been through? Meaning, they going through whether it's going to jail, whether it's being part of it, whether it's being part of whether they just in the criminal world. Like you said, it didn't call you. It didn't, you, that wasn't your calling. You didn't, it was brought to you because of who you are. No, it was brought to you because of the namesake. Okay. Right? But we have a lot of kids that did what you did, that ended up embracing it because it was lost. And it was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take this. How would you be able to talk to that kid who lost and they like, you know what? I'm just gonna embrace this life.
All right, going back, if I can, you know, explaining that point, it's like, never get caught up into who you not or what you not. It's never in the streets. When I got caught up, I embraced it. Like, I love something about it. You know, so at the end of the day, it's like, be you, like, be unique, be different. You know, I was always a nerd at heart, but I never wanted to embrace that because technically it wasn't cool. So, you know, the person I am today, like, I can care less. You know, and that's just the difference, like, because when you think about it, the Steve Urkel's the ones who making it. The Carltons, them the ones who getting the money. You know, the Will Smiths is the not making it in, them the ones who not making it in sports and hanging on the street corners. So, you know, you got to embrace, like, being who you are. When you the nerd or you the smartest person in the room, embrace that. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, like what I say today is like to the young kids who going through what I went through.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fall victim to like the ego,
Right.
because when you consider the nerd, or if you're a nerd, you don't get that like that fame. They don't like embrace you. They talk down on you.
Right.
But when they start looking up to you, and now all of a sudden you embracing that, now you love that. Don't fall in love with that, because it's only basically a temporary failure. Like, like in the moment you good, you love it in the moment, but when you go home, you still that same person. So now you creating a character. You have to pretend to be something that you're not, because that's all you're doing.
Right.
You're embracing. You've been you your whole life. Again, you was born and raised in the hood, but you never embraced that. You know what you faced. You know how you know what you was faced growing up.
Yeah.
We all know. You know what you was faced, right?
Yeah.
But you stuck with it. You embraced being being you. And basically that's gonna get you way further in life than you trying to take on something that you're not. Because when you take on something that you're not, eventually you're gonna be faced with the consequences of what that is. Can you handle the consequences of what you're not?
That's right. That's right. Man, I hate to cut this short, but the rain about to come down, and we ain't about to get that iPad, and we ain't about to get where I got that stuff. But look, Troy, I'm gonna have to have you come back and sit down and finish getting it, because, dude, it's a lot that you it's a lot that I know you done been through.
Yeah.
We both grew up in the same areas, and we know what it's like. And I just hope and pray that now that you had a second chance to turn it around, that you keep going and you actually make that move. Because I'm not saying you, I'm just saying it's so easy for people to fall back
100%
and go back into doing what they
exactly.
So I just hope and pray that you continue to make that change, and don't let Troy Hankton define who you are. You know what I'm saying? Let the new Troy truly humble define who you are. Appreciate you, big dog. Thank you for coming sit on the porch, man. This your boy D with On the Porch, man. We about to get the hell out of here because it's raining. See y'all next time.